Welcome back to Magoo's Reviews. Hope everybody's having a blessed day. This is my review for X-Men 97, Episode 9, Tolerant for Sixth Ascension, Part 2. I know it sounds like a broken record, man. You know, every time I come on here, you guys see reviews. Oh, man, the show's so great. But it truly is, man. I don't care if I sound like a broken record. It's a great show. It's an absolutely great show. And this just picks up where the ball left up. Where it left off last episode, man. I mean, right, so in the beginning of this episode, you see Xavier wake up in the X-Men mansion. Of course, it's destroyed. It's complete rubble, man. It's complete rubble. But again, like one of the questions I had, when you first see Charles in the previous episodes, when he's over with the Shi'ar and everything, it's like, hey, man, what's it going to be like when he returns home? And you see that tension between him and Cyclops. Cyclops and Jean. Out of the X-Men so the original 5 X-Men, people know their comics: Cyclops, Jean, Iceman, Beast, and Angel. Those are the original 5. So in this team, Beast, Cyclops, and Jean are the 3 that are still remaining from the original. Iceman and Angel aren't there. But yeah, man, you see that back and forth between Cyclops, especially him and Cyclops. Jean was like, hey, y'all got time to squash this, but Cyclops was really upset. That one, he gave, Magneto, lead over the X-Men instead of him, which I can understand. So he was really hurt by that. So you see that tension between the two of them. You see, Storm and Forge come back to the mansion. You see that, everybody's happy to see Storm, especially Jean. Forge and Beast have a great connection there because they're both really brilliant minds. And they come up with the plan to, for the collar for Bastion, to suppress his powers and everything that's going on. So right now in episode 8, when Magneto let off that, electromagnetic force around the whole Earth, pretty much once it goes night, man, he could send, it's pretty much a wrap. That's how powerful Magneto is. So it's a whole blackout. It's a whole blackout around the whole Earth. There's no power. They said even in the hospitals, everywhere. That's how powerful Magneto is. He shut down all the power on the whole planet. So yeah, they're coming up with a plan. So they're going to do, a plan just to whole stop it. You see Rogue wake up. You see Nightcrawler comfort her, and she's talking to her because she's really hurt by, Remy, Gambit's death. Professor X tries to go talk to her after he talks to the team and everything like that. But you can still sense the tension between the team and him because he was like their father, but he just up and dipped. You know what I mean? So yeah, he didn't just up and dip. He never came back. You know what I mean? So there's definitely that tension there. Then you see Magneto come down. And I think it's Asteroid M. If I'm correct, I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, hey, please correct me in the comments. But yeah, you see Magneto come down, and he's giving the X-Men an ultimatum. He's like, hey, look, you go with me or you go with Charles, because Charles' plan, his dream right now, it has not worked. He wasn't here when Genosha went down. He didn't see what happened to all the mutants. Like, I'm over this. So you see 2 of the X-Men jump over to Magneto's side. You see Rogue, which I expected, because her and Magneto kind of have a little thing right there, and she's fed up. She's really angry, especially after what happened with Gambit. She's really angry. And then you see, Sunspot. He goes over there with Magneto too because of what in the previous episode what his mother did to him. And the Jubilee, she's upset with that because him, the 2 of them have that connection right there. So yeah, that was pretty rough. You know what I mean? That was pretty rough seeing those 2 go over there, but at the same time, you can understand their reason why. You know what I mean? So yeah, as that goes on, the team breaks up into 2. You see 2 of the teams break up. One goes after Bastion, the other one goes after Magneto. So I'm kind of, I had to sit down and think about it for a while, why they did it, because if I'm looking at the X-Men, like X-Men got certain powerhouses, right? So out of this team right now, Storm, she's the most powerful one. So Storm, Forge, Beast, Morph, Jean, Cable, they go after Bastion. They go after Bastion and Mr. Sinister, which was, man, one thing I can say about this, the storytelling is great, but when you have great storytelling, that just sets up the action pieces even more. You know what I mean? We have great storytelling. Perfect movie I can say off the top of my head that has great storytelling, and when the action hits was like Lord of the Rings. Just great storytelling. So when you see the action, man, it hits. And the storytelling is amazing, man. So when they go there to take out Bastion and the Sentinels, man, they have some great action pieces, man. Another thing that was, because I know there's been cameos, through the whole, the show and everything like that. Like, you've seen Spider-Man, you've seen Captain America, stuff like that. A part of me is thinking like, hey, bro, where the Avengers at? If there's a whole blackout around the Earth, there is no way it's just going to be the X-Men fighting. Like, you know what I mean? They're going to bring out Thor. They're going to bring out Hulk, Captain America, Iron. Everybody's coming out to show up like, hey, bro, we taking them out ourselves, We going after Magneto too. So again, like I said in the previous episodes, Morph has those great scenes where he just transforms into, any character. Man, so as they're fighting the Sentinels, they're doing their thing. Like I said, the X-Men are just such a formidable team, man. Morph turns into the Hulk. I was like, hey, look, I was looking for an Avenger, so it was funny when it happened. I was like, oh, okay. I didn't see that coming, but it was funny. And that's another thing, man. The Sentinels are very formidable, but at the same time, I think the one thing they have over the X-Men is the fact that they outnumber them. You know what I mean? Because I'm looking at it like even the X-Men, like they can take out a Sentinel by themselves. It really depends. They have that much skill, as fighters and stuff like that, especially as a team. So I think the Sentinels more so just outnumber them. And that fact that Bastion was the one who was at that, he was just pretty much in control of the Sentinels while they're fighting. That was crazy. And then you see Mr. Sinister and Jean go at it. And I ain't gonna lie, to all the fight scenes in this whole episode, that was my favorite fight scene. Jean and Sinister. Like, that was absolutely amazing, man. Excuse me. That was an absolutely amazing fight scene. How they did it, and the animation was so fluid as they're fighting, that one-on-one battle. Just absolutely amazing, man. And then, it's transitioning back and forth. So as you see the other team, which has, I think it's Charles, Cyclops, Wolverine, Nightcrawler, Jubilee. I want to say that's it. Yeah, they go over to fight, Magneto, Rogue, and Sunspot. Man, it was a very good fight scene. Magneto's pretty much just, lying back as Rogue and them jumps in. And it was kind of, it's kind of sad to see them go at it, even Sunspot and Jubilee. Shit, they're kind of like, oh, we're really fighting, but it's just bad, you know what I mean? But really good scenes. And Magneto's whole thing for Magneto's helmet is to block Xavier's telepathy. No matter how powerful he is, he can't do nothing with that, as far as Xavier's telepathy. Oh yeah, another great thing, before the teams broke off and went to their, their destinations, they had a great scene where they went back into their old school uniform. So of course Storm had the black outfit on, which she had the last couple episodes. Cyclops went to one of his suit from the 80s. Jean, Marvel Girl. Wolverine with his brown outfit, which is my favorite Wolverine costume, the brown and the tan. That's my favorite. So it was cool to kind of see them go back to that. Even Rogue's costume. Rogue had her other costume on. So that was really cool to see, man. That was very cool. Yeah, but like going back to that, so you see, as you go back to the island where I think Team Gold is, you see Mr. Sinister take over Cable's line. And then Cable starts to attack Jean. And so as, Cyclops, Jean, telepathy, Cyclops goes over. Look, something crazy happened. Anyway, Cyclops sees seeing Jean being attacked by Cable. And there's really nothing she can do at the point because he's just overpowering her. Because remember, Cable's extremely powerful. Once that gun went off, he just uses mutant powers. And she really had a hard time holding them off. So as that's going on, Cyclops, Wolverine's able to get off Magneto's helmet. Then you see Xavier, he goes after Magneto, man. There's really nothing Magneto can do. He's just at Xavier's will. Cyclops, he blasts at Xavier to be like, nah, the other team needs, a little more time. So I understand his reasoning for doing that. Same time, I was like, okay, now y'all messed up. Y'all messed up because now Magneto puts the helmet on Xavier. I was like, oh man, this ain't about to be good. He gets everybody, even Rogue and Sunspot. He puts everybody in metal chains or whatever, just puts everybody off to the side. I didn't see it coming. Wolverine stabs him right in the side. And that's one thing I can say about this show, and the reason I love it that it's on streaming platforms, is, growing up in the 90s, I was born in 88, man, so I remember when the first X-Men cartoon came out in the 90s in 92. But remember, it came out on Fox Prime. It was on Fox Kids. So they couldn't show a lot of things like Wolverine stabbing people. You know what I mean? Like certain optic blasts. Even I think in Spider-Man 94, Spider-Man wasn't allowed to punch people in the face. There were certain restrictions that the television broadcast had against these. But on the streaming platforms, you actually see them stabbing. You actually see them punching and going all out using their powers, which I love to see. So you see Magneto get stabbed, through the chest by Wolverine. And you see the blood and everything like that. And he's like, Logan. And then Wolverine, he's like, yo, I had enough. And then everybody knows that infamous comic panel when Magneto, this is where a guy said, man, the stakes just keep raising. When Magneto, he rips the adamantium out of Wolverine. I was like, man. I heard rumblings that, hey, man, it was kind of leaning towards that, but I didn't, really look at spoiler reviews or anything like that. Like I said, I try to make my own interpretation, my own, review before I look at anybody else's. So, yeah, that was crazy. And that was the final panel, final shot before the episode went off. And it was kind of taken right out of the comics, like even Wolverine's expression. And you seen Xavier pleading with him not to do it. So I'm like, man, I understand why Cyclops did that, but at the same time, by doing that, man, y'all really screwed yourselves. You know what I mean? So it's it's absolutely great, man. This has been a great show. Episode 10 is the season finale. So yeah, definitely look out for my review on that. I'm definitely going to do a review on that sooner than later. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. Please don't forget to like, share, and comment to the like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment in the comment section. Tell me what's you guys' favorite episode so far. What's your favorite moment from this episode? Again, mine is I love the whole episode, but I really did like seeing Mr. Sinister and Jean going at it. I thought that was really cool. Yeah, so hope you guys have a blessed day. I'll see you soon.